Now for this next mini lesson, I'd like to show my students how to do a basic motion tween. So let's select a new action script 3.0. And once again, 800 by 600. And actually I should be doing advanced settings, make default. And then Command 2 will zoom out so I can see the whole stage. And motionTween is really easy. The basic idea. See, I've got a gradient on that. I'm going to take that off. I'll just make it orange or something. So basically the rules are the item that you're motion tweening needs to be a symbol. So you can right click on it, say convert to symbol. F8 is a keyboard shortcut, but for some reason I can't figure out why my Mac is not allowing me to use F8 when in Flash. If you figure it out, you can tell me. But convert to symbol, and the registration point, not a big deal, but let's put it in the middle, and this will just be a box. And here's what you need to do. So first thing is convert it to a symbol. You also have to make sure it's the only thing on the layer that you're working with. If you have something else on there, it messes it up. So I'm going to go out here to the 75th frame and insert keyframe, and then we're going to right click and say create motion tween, but I'm going to use a classic tween. I happen to get better results from those classic tweens. So now we got point A and point B, and we have this blue arrow in between. Right now it's not going to look like it's actually going anywhere because point A and point B are the same. So what we need to do is make point B not be the same. Now you can see the computer is taking this symbol that's over here at point A, and it knows it is going to end up over here for point B, so the computer can figure out how to make it go in between. That's why it's called the motion tween. The in between is figured out by the computer. So let's go command return, and now it shows you the motion tween. And that's basically it. But like I said, if you put something on this layer, notice as soon as I draw, you get a dotted line. That's because now the computer is going to be confused as to how to make this tween into that. So this is going to basically interfere, and I'm not sure if this will happen, but in the old days it used to. Let me try doing that. Yeah, okay, so it didn't. I thought it might actually create something in the library called a tween, but evidently it didn't. So notice when I delete that, though, it comes back to normal, which is good. Okay, so as far as tweening, you know, there's so many different properties. We could change the size of it. Go Option Command S. We can make it 200 times bigger. Not only that, but we could rotate it. I could have said 200 and then 25 degrees rotation. So the computer will figure out how to rotate it. Not only that, you can click on it and go to the properties panel, and let's see, it's probably under color effect, style, alpha. You can alpha it down to, let's say, 50%, and now you'll notice it looks semi-transparent. It's especially obvious, the transparency is especially obvious if you put something behind it. So on this layer I can put ground. Let's see, let me zoom out so I can see what I'm doing. I'll put some ground down here. I'll change the color to a brownish color, and you can see through it. Not only that, but you can select a frame in between, and you can go easing 100. Let's see what that does. You notice it slows to a stop, which is kind of nice. You could also go the other way. If I drag it to the left, negative, so now it's going to start out slow and then go faster. And I'd assume you could do a point in the middle, and then on this side you could do it easing in, and then on this side go easing out, and probably get a pretty decent speed up and then slow down effect. Yeah, it kind of jumped in the middle there. That's not what I wanted. But anyways, you can experiment with it and get plenty to happen. At this point, it has stopped, and if you want to keep going, you could just keep going here. You could click on a future frame, right-click, insert keyframe, create classic motionTween. You could make it look like it's, whoops, I double-clicked accidentally. So I accidentally double-clicked it and it went inside. You can tell by this information. So to get back out, I can click Scene 1, and now I'll be able to see the same timeline I had before. So since that happened and I'm talking about it, let me just explain how to get inside a symbol. Double-click. Get outside, you can click the Scene 1, or you can do it this way. You can click outside here. See how it jumped back out? So double-click the item itself, and then double-click the stage or an empty area. Alright, so back to the point I was making. When I created this frame right here, I wanted to drag it down so it looks like it's falling or something. And notice that the ground has disappeared. That's because right here is the last frame it understands it wants to be seen. So if you right-click over here and say Insert Frame, suddenly you'll be able to see it again. So it comes to a stop and then it falls. And let's see, before it falls, if I wanted to create make it stand still longer, one way I could do that is if I create a keyframe right here, you can see it's already started to fall, so I wouldn't want to do that. What I need to do is right-click, copy that frame, and then paste it right here. Paste it right there. Paste. No, that's not what I wanted. Control Z. The mistake I made is I have all this selected. And it's just a matter of my mouse not behaving properly. Paste frame. So now you can see this frame and that frame are exactly the same, which means now I can select this whole block and drag it out so that from here to here it doesn't actually move. In fact, I can get rid of the tween now. Just say remove tween since there's no reason to have it until you get to here. And then once again, because I've added more frames now, the ground has disappeared, so I need to go out here and hit insert frame. Alright, so now it falls, and that's illustrating the fact that I asked for a lot of time here in between it stopping and starting to fall. So that's motionTween, and you can actually do some pretty cool things with it. So experiment and see what you come up with. I'm going to save this now. I'm going to save it as a flash file.